you ever felt like you were experiencing deja vu? I know I have. On today's case, Mrs. Harvey says it's deja vu all over again and again when it comes to her partner, Mr. Lockhard. She says after a 4-year hiatus from dating, she decided to take a chance on a man she met in the laundry room of her building. She says it didn't take long for him to start exhibiting all the same toxic traits of her past relationships. Now she says she's stuck in a house with a freeloading egomaniac who claims he's the king of her castle and is more than likely cheating on her. Ms. Harvey says she's old enough to know that red flags should not be ignored. And if Mr. Lockhard thinks that he's a player, she's not interested in his games. I know that's right. Let's hear their case.
Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Starr presiding. Your Honor, this is the case of Harvey versus Lockhard.
Thank you very much. Ms. Harvey, you say Mr. Lockhard's toxic, abrasive, and king of the castle attitude has made your living situation unbearable. You say if he doesn't show you more love and respect, you want him out.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Lockhard, you say living with Ms. Harvey's son is the main reason the two of you are having problems in your relationship. You also say Ms. Harvey wants to know your whereabouts at all times, and you no longer want to live like a prisoner in your own home.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so let's see how we got here today. Ms. Harvey, I know that you all have been together for 2 years. My case file says you've been living together for those entire 2 years. Yet, we are in divorce court. Tell me why you're here today, ma'am.
Yes, Your Honor. My boyfriend, I feel like he doesn't take our relationship seriously. He's very demanding and controlling, and I typically think he might be cheating on me with other women. And if he doesn't get it together, then I'm done.
Well, that's a really quick summary, Mr. Lockhart. Ms. Harvey doesn't seem like she's playing. What do you say?
Well, she's extremely clingy. She's always wanting to know where I am when she helps bake my schedule. And the bigger issue is her son and our privacy.
Okay, so let's see if we can't drill down on this one. Ms. Harvey, you've been together for 2 years, but I read you met really quickly, and next thing you know, you're in a relationship. Take me back to that. How did that happen?
Yeah, so I was doing laundry one day, just had a little time off from work, and I was coming out of the laundry room, and he said hi, and I said hello, and he's like, "Are you single?" And I was like, "Yes." And he said, "Are you doing anything later? Maybe we can have a date. I find you very interesting." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, sure, I'm single. Sure, why not?" And so we got together, and we went out on dinner and a date, and it was nice. Maybe a week later, and after texting and calling and, every day, he told me that he was kind of in between places to live, and I offered him to come and stay with me,
Miss Harvey, girl.
I know, Your Honor.
You met the man in the laundry room, and a week later he living in your crib?
Yes. Yes, Your Honor.
Was he that fly that you needed to have somebody come and live in the spot in 1 week?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh.
He was very charming, and we had good conversation, and we had a lot of interests together. Like, we had a lot of things in common.
Though, in a week, it's hard to know what seems like fun in the beginning is going to be something that you can build a long-term relationship on. Mr. Lockhard, you hit the jackpot when you met somebody that allowed you to move into their house within a week,
Yes,
sir.
ma'am. Yes, Your Honor. Like she said, we had a lot of similar interests. I was kind of in between places. I was going month to month on my lease. So it was kind of like, hey, pay this lease, or hey, we're kind of connecting now, let's join forces on, our bills, and, let's see if this is going to work for us.
Okay, you could have lasted another month since you were going month to month.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
okay, because my attitude is I at least need to sleep over at your place once to know how you live. Did you get a chance to sleep over at his place?
No, Your Honor.
Mm-hmm. See, y'all have a lot of things in common. What kind of ice cream she like?
She likes butter pecan ice cream or chocolate ice cream.
Or chocolate ice cream. Uh-huh. And you know when her birthday is?
Yes.
What about her son's birthday? You know that too?
No. He's a grown man. Why should I know his birthday?
I just was wondering, just kind of, you've been together for 2 years. The boy done had 2 birthdays. So I just was thinking, you know, sometimes when you're making a family, those are the things that you learn. That's all.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah. I just was curious because as you're building a relationship, that's, you know, just some of the things that you want to know about the other person. When's the red flags start, Miss Harvey?
Well, after he moved in, he started becoming controlling. There was this one incident where there was a blanket that was very sentimental to me, and I spread it out on my bed. And so I guess he wanted to continue resting there. And so he was like, no, why are you spreading this blanket? I'm like, because it's my blanket and my bed, and this is where I want my blanket on my bed. And he's like, no, you know, I'm still laying here. There's no need to even do this because I'm, you know, just very controlling as far as that goes. And then he decided to leave, and I thought we had, like, broke up after that.
Over a blanket?
Yes.
Okay, see, that's why you don't move in with somebody within a week, because you didn't give him a chance to find out how you like your blanket.
Well, he loves the blanket, but he just, at that time, he just wanted to make it seem like, you know, he was running things.
Ah, so you are saying it was more about him deciding how he wanted it rather than the way you wanted it.
Correct.
That's curious. Mr. Lockhard, how did it go down, at least in your mind?
Well, I thought it made sense to not have her do more work. I thought it was, you know, hey, I'm going to be laying here again in a second.
So you're saying don't make the bed?
Right, don't make the bed if I'm about to lay in it. And she wouldn't let me move the bed.
He acts like he's king of the castle, Your Honor.
Help me to understand how does that manifest itself?
He wanted to come in and try to just, like, rearrange my whole area. Who does that?
What do you mean? Give me a real concrete example.
Well, other than the blanket, he kept, like, pressuring me to rearrange my bed and move things around. Well, he said this is because we need to move the bed for us privacy-wise, but I wasn't ready to move my bed. And so we had a thing about that, and I eventually moved the bed. So
I lived there, you know,
right.
So we combining things, as you say, and what we were doing, but she wouldn't let me move the bed because she didn't want me to. That was number one. And then number two, my explanation behind it was, you know, if we're having sexual relations, you know, the headboard is hitting the wall, and on the other side, her son resides.
Oh, yeah. I think the bed need to move.
I need him help me more with the bills.
When you were living on your own, who paid the bills?
I did.
What makes you think that you could move into her space and not pay bills?
Your Honor, me and my son pay the rent.
She never told me that I was going to have to really pay the rent. My clothes are still in the closet, like they're still in my luggage. I don't have any space or any room to really, you know, function really as a man.
Miss Harvey, why is that? Because you've said my a few times.
It's my space, and he just has to respect it. He moved in with me.
So was he moving in with you, or were you all moving in together? You understand what the difference is? Because the house is yours. Were you making space for a partner? Or was he just still the boyfriend that's visiting?
I eventually made space for him, Your Honor. He's not telling you that. He didn't have any space at all at first.
Of course not. It wasn't his house.
Right. But he make it seem like I didn't make space for him, and I did.
Talk to me a little bit about how you all decided that you were going to combine forces, because I imagine since it's your place, you were paying the bills, you know, making sure all the creature comforts were there. The items in the home were primarily yours.
Yes.
What did you all talk about in terms of how you were going to work the situation?
We didn't really just discuss it.
Not at all?
No, and we haven't discussed the bills. It's, you know, I need him help me more with the bills. I had an electric bill that was due just last month. It was $150, and I asked him for some money on the bill. He only decided to give me $30. He said that's all he had was $30.
Okay, Mr. Lockhard, y'all didn't have a discussion on how you were going to combine forces? That's your phrase that you used earlier.
Yes. Your Honor, everything you're saying on kind of the opposite side of her is what I thought was kind of in place without us really having a discussion.
Talk to me what you thought was in place, because I can't imagine starting a new relationship that we don't have these discussions.
Right. I thought, you know, because of our age and because of we've been through relationships before, that was kind of unspoken. We kind of understood that.
And
But
what did you think was the understanding, just so that we're clear about that?
when I'm able to participate or contribute to whatever we have going on as far as bills is concerned, I will give it. Now, the $30 situation, she just caught me at a bad time.
Here's my question, Mr. Lockhard. When you were living on your own,
Yes,
who paid the bills?
I did.
So what makes you think that you could move into her space and not pay bills?
It wasn't that. It was just that she had caught me at a bad time.
No, I'm not talking about just that one time.
Yes, ma'am.
Because when you were explaining to me just now that your understanding of the financial relationship was that you would contribute it when you had it. Did you hear that, Robert?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But
I
the
guess
rent is due regularly,
Right.
whether you have it or not.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
light bill's coming every month, whether you have it or not.
Yes, ma'am.
The cable, the water,
Yes, ma'am.
all that's coming every single month.
Yes, ma'am.
So somebody's got to be responsible for that. What was your understanding of who was going to be responsible for that?
Your Honor, me and my son pay the rent.
The whole thing?
Yes.
Mr. Lockhart? Nah, I know it just spun around in your head how that sounded, right? That sounded crazy.
Yes, Your Honor. I can't really say that I don't pay anything. Has been times that she's asked me to pay it and I was able to cover it. It was this one time that I wasn't able to. But she never told me that I was going to have to really pay the rent.
He only pays attention to me when he wants sex, Your Honor.
You just a little bit of a cash register right now.
I feel used. I think he might be cheating on me with other women.
We can't go any further on the intimacy level because her son lives right with us.
But you knew that walking in the door. If you'd like your case to be heard on divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com. Missed a show? Watch full episodes on our streaming platforms and follow us on social media for exclusive content. Did you expect that you were going to have a warm place to stay, food to eat, lights on, cable, all of that, and you weren't going to have to contribute anything? I just want to be clear on what your expectations are. And by the way, no judgment, because whatever dynamic y'all decide to do, that's y'all's house.
Right.
But I just want to know, what was your expectation? Because disappointment does not lie in what you get.
Sure.
It's what you expected to get.
Yes, Your Honor. And she should have made that kind of clear what she wanted. We were talking about, you know, probably moving into a bigger space and that we were going to combine our income to help in that space.
Did you expect, Miss Harvey, that Mr. Lockhart was going to come in and contribute at least equally?
I did, because, I mean, he's a grown man. He's 44 years old. Like, we're at our age where I would think he would know by now how to run a household and contribute to a household with a family and have a family. He doesn't even help around the house.
I'm just curious, Miss Harvey, y'all never had this specific conversation like what I'm having with you, that say my rent or my mortgage is $1,800 a month or whatever it is?
No, Your Honor, I don't. I don't have these conversations.
Why not?
Because
Your Honor, you know, I live on a budget, and if she wants me to help,
he only pays attention to me when he wants sex.
all she has to do is give me notice, Your Honor. And she knows that I will get out there and make it happen.
He only pays attention to me when he wants sex, Your Honor.
So you almost feel like you just a little bit of a cash register right now. You can come in and...
I feel used, yes, Your Honor.
Mr.
I
Lockhart?
feel taken advantage of.
Do you hear what she's saying?
Yes, I hear you, Your Honor. But it's kind of...
No, you don't need to hear me. You need to hear her.
Yes, Your Honor, and I hear her. And in my defense of everything, she says that, you know, that I just want sex or something like that, when it's the total... I feel like it's the total opposite. she wants it just as bad as I want it, and that's where we get into the whole clingy situation and want to know where I am and all this other kind of things, is because if she doesn't have sex 2 or 3 times a day.
Your Honor, I made him a romantic lunch, and he came in and he saw it. He sat down, ate it, and got up and left. He didn't acknowledge that he enjoyed it or that he was on the phone the whole time. Like, he didn't.
So you were trying to set the mood for oh, that's so pretty.
Yes, Your Honor, she did set that up very nice. But, you know, I'm more of a person that she helps me plan out my life and in the app. And so she knows all of my schedule, where I'm going to be, where it's going on. And I just didn't have time for, you know, to be lovey-dovey at that point.
He never has time for it, Your Honor. He never has time to pay attention to me. We're never intimate, like hugging and kissing. It's just sex. Like, we don't hug, we don't kiss, we don't hold hands, we don't.
The whole thing about the whole intimacy between us is that we can't go any further on the intimacy level because her son lives right with us.
But you knew that walking in the door.
Yes.
Yes and no. I knew he was there. I did not know that he lived there also until I, you know, pretty much moved in.
Well, that's because y'all didn't take enough time to get to know each other.
Yes, Your Honor.
If you had had more than 2 dates, you would have come over to the house and maybe actually had a meal and met her family.
Right.
And then had a conversation and says, oh, your son lives here.
Your Honor, and those beginning meetings was sex. It was a date straight and then straight to sex after that. So.
And we see how that worked out.
I can't trust him, Your Honor.
What do you mean you can't trust him?
He leaves and he doesn't come home. I have evidence to show.
What's your evidence?
Proof. I have text messages showing when I was trying to get in touch with him in the middle of the night. He's responding back to me, don't worry about where he's at, cursing at me.
Let's see this.
He doesn't care.
So I'm assuming you are in the white. You're the white phrasing. Who are you with? And the blue is Mr. Lockhard. Why you always texting something? You know I'm handling biz. I'm with who I'm with.
Right.
And I'm assuming that's the F word you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Lockhard, why would you speak to her that way?
I spoke to her that way because I was actually in a meeting. And what I keep going back to that one point is that she helps me make my schedule. So she knew where I was, but because I'm in a meeting probably with a female that she doesn't know or trust me to be going to get income for us, she's buzzing my phone all the time.
This text is at 1 a.m.
No, I'm looking at this. It's 1:06 a.m. when she says, where are you? I'm going to bed. So at 1 o'clock in the morning...
I was still in a meeting.
With who? What do you do that requires you to be in a meeting at 1 o'clock in the morning? Next time on Divorce Court.
Your Honor, he didn't come home that night.
Mr. Lockhart, why were you out all night?
We had a lot of beef between us.
Mr. Lockhart, I'm gonna tell you something on the real. I don't know who raised you, but that right there, that's some trifling, sorry, little boy mess.
And Your Honor, my son is here to back me up.
Robert, will you ask the witness to come in, please? What's your opinion of the relationship? I want you to be as honest with me as you can.
I don't like it. First off, he's a clown, a circus, and we all got a free ticket.
He should really be minding his own business.
He is minding his own business because he's paying for a place where you live.
It's either gonna be me and us, or it's gonna have to be them two.
It's never gonna not be him. That's her child.
To the end. I'm always gonna be here.
Your mom seems to think there's been some cheating. Have you witnessed anything?
Yes, I have.